this is the video for lesson 4 of the second beginner level of the Piano Skills Foundation series. So if you've already done lessons 1 through 3, you're ready for lesson 4. In this lesson, we're not going to do anything brand new, I don't think. We're going to be doing your C major scale as usual, but this time no stops. We're going to be doing Frere, Jacques in a round again, but this time I'm going to show you how to start with the right hand. And we're going to add a couple reading exercises that have flats in them instead of sharps, and I'll show you what that means. And then we're going to try to finish up learning a grand day, that memorized piece, the first learned memorized piece that you've been doing. So I hope you have fun with this lesson and enjoy your practicing. Oh, that was weird. So now, the first thing on your list for the lesson 4 practice guide is a C major scale, and the only thing that's happened this week is that now I'm having you do it 2 times with no stops. Now, see, previously we've been doing it stopping so you can think 3 notes, including 4th finger. Well, now you're going to do that without stopping, right? So what I'm going to do today, though, is I'm just going to show it to you one time. I'm going to just go straight through all your exercises without really saying a whole ton, just as an example of how you are starting to be able to play your exercises. I'm going to go ahead and do 120. You can go as slow as you need to on the scale, though I think your arpeggios, cadence, and twinkle probably should be up at 120 by now. Your scale may not be. We are still doing each note for 2 beats, so on the scale at least. Here we go. You would do this 2 times. I'm only going to do it 1 time. I'm still going to say right thumb, left third. You can start internalizing it at this point if you want to. Right thumb, left third. 3 notes including 4th finger. Right thumb, left third. Back down. Left thumb, right third. 3 notes including 4th finger. Left thumb, right third. Okay, and after you've done that twice, arpeggios. You're working on keeping them smooth. Connect every note, but don't hold over. I'm going to double these to just get through them a little quicker. Here we go. You do not need to play these this fast. Eventually you will. I'm playing 2 notes per beat. I do not think you need to do that. I'm just saving some time on the video. Eventually, you'll be able to play them like this. Okay, now I'm going to go and do the hands together. You should do them separately first. Differently too. You should give 2 beats on each one. I'm sort of pushing through just so you can see everything. Here's Twinkle Twinkle. You're going to go about this fast. Okay, I'm going to double that. I'm doing this just to save time, but to still show you how to get through your exercises. Just thinking, I wonder if I could double that. No, I'm not going to do that. So, and of course, you would have been playing it about, which is just fine for now. Okay, I just wanted to get through them quickly. I just wanted to play through the whole exercise group to show you this is kind of where you're headed. You do not have to go as fast as I went, but you should go through them all just like that. It should be getting easier to make it through those. And then I'm going to have you skip. We're going to skip the notes on the staff and on the piano and go straight through to Frere, Jacques. I'm going to just go ahead and do Frere, Jacques a little bit differently today, though. I'm going to have you do it the old way that we learned last time with your left hand starting and the right hand coming in, but then we're going to switch it, okay? So I'm going to do the left hand. Let's say you've been working on the left hand, you've gotten pretty good at it. I'm going to put it up at 88. How's that? Just 88. Left hand starts. And if you're not already up to 88, it's no big deal. I mean, you could be down at 60, 66. Don't worry about tempo that much on this. The important thing is just being able to play it with the beat steadily, no matter what tempo you're at. So now today I want to show you doing the right hand first. If you start with the right hand on this, the principles that I showed you last time are the same. You just think about how many notes are in each group. The only difference is instead of starting in this position, you have to start with your right hand up an octave, otherwise the hands will run into each other. So we're going to do the right hand by itself first, and I'll just review the concept of the numbers. If you know that this group gets 4 notes, see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That means when you put this group in the left hand, while the right hand does the next group, this only has 3 notes, so the left hand's going to have an extra note. So it goes like this. See that extra note in the left hand? Okay, now we're going to shift to the next group where the left hand's going to be only doing 3 notes, but the right hand's doing 6 notes. Okay, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, that's how you do that group. All right, now we shift to our next group where the right hand does just 3 notes and the left hand does 6. Okay, so it goes like this: 2 notes here for each one here. And again. Okay, now when I restart, the right hand is on a group with just 4 notes while the left hand has only 3, so it's extra note here. Now I'm just going to keep going. This is our second time through. So the left hand has the extra note on that one. Now it's 3 versus 6. Now the left hand has 6. And then we're back, we're at the very end. So it's just both hands together. So now I want to show you how that sounds. I'm going to play it at the same tempo I played that other one, what I played earlier with the left hand starting. So we're at 88, and like I said, look, tempo does not matter, but try to put it with your metronome somewhere. You could start really slow, like at 54 if you wanted to, and then gradually over time you'll work your way up. But right now, 88 is what I want to show you just as an example. It up there. That shows you what happens when your mind wanders off. As you're playing the piano, if your mind wanders off, you can screw up anything, and I just did. But I'm not going to leave it out. I think that it's fun for you to see stuff like that, even somebody who's an advanced player can screw up in the simplest things. But hopefully you'll learn how to do this and enjoy playing Frere Jacques in a round, either with the left hand starting or the right hand starting, and then you can work your way up the tempos. All right, good luck. All right, so the next thing on your list, lesson 4 practice guide, is reading exercise called Something Flat. Today I'm just going to show you an example of how to practice it. Hopefully you're getting used to practicing these reading exercises by now. This one will require you to do right hand and left hand separately because both hands are playing. I'm going to do just maybe the first 2 lines, practicing through them the way I want you to practice them. And then I'll just play the whole thing as usual so you can kind of know what it's supposed to sound like. Well, I'll put it right here while I play the right hand from here to here. And you'll notice for the first time, I think, in our series, there's a note that has a flat sign. See that little symbol right there is a flat sign. And what that means is if you put a flat sign in front of a note, it goes down half a step. So instead of playing B here, we're going to play B flat. You know, in the previous 2 reading pieces you had in lesson 3, we had sharps where you were up a half a step from F and up half a step from D. And just a real quick note about flats and sharps. If you were to put a sharp sign in front of an E, for instance, you would go up half a step and play a white note. So a flat or a sharp does not necessarily mean a black note. It just means up a half a step or down a half step. For instance, if I played a C with a flat sign in front of it, I'd end up playing this note here, which we normally call B, but this note could also be called C flat. All right? So now back to what we're doing. The B flat that I'm going to play is right here with my 4th finger. So I'm going to start here again. And there's only 3 beats per measure. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then the first note of the next line is 1. All right, so you would do that till you get good at it. And now the left hand, 5th finger is on F, counting, and in a dotted half note gets 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Wow, that's a really hard left hand part, isn't it? Now let's try both hands. And I'm going to go ahead and put the metronome on. I'm going to stick it at 80. As usual, you can start slower if you need to. But right hand thumb, left hand 5th finger. Here's the first line, 3 perfect. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There's 1 perfect. Click, click. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 2 perfect. Click, click. 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Now, of course, you know it's going to take you longer to get your 3 perfects. I just go through them to save time on the video. But when my students practice like that, quite often that first perfect one takes 5 or 6 or 10 tries. But if you've tried for more than 10 times and not gotten any perfect ones, that means you're going too fast. Right? So, 5 or 6 tries for your first perfect, and then the other perfects should come fairly quickly after that. Now I'm going to leave the metronome on and do the next line. The right hand by itself. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, and I did not mark this, but I should have. There should be a 5th finger on that C there. Hopefully you can figure that out. Left hand's turn. Left hand, 5th finger on F. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, very difficult left hand, right? So let's do both hands. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? So this first perfect one. Hopefully you are keeping your eyes glued to your music when you practice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, there's 2 perfect. And on the 3rd perfect one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, now I'm going to put those first 2 lines together. I've done 3 perfect, put them together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, those are the first 2 lines. I'm going to keep playing so you can hear the whole piece. 1, 2, 3, 1, So I just played through the whole thing. You have 2 more lines that you should practice the way I showed you to practice these. And every time you add that you get your third perfect and you add a line, then go back and play them together. All right? So that was something flat.
Good luck.
Now your second reading exercise, called still flat, you're going to have some flats in there, still the B flat, but you do not have to practice hands separately because they don't play together at all until you get to the very last 2 measures. So what I'm going to show you is if you want to just focus on just that one spot, you could do little hands separate and then do the whole line. So today I'm going to start with this line. I'm going to do 3 perfect on this one, 3 perfect here, and then I'll play the whole piece for you so you know what it sounds like. The bottom line starts with left hand thumb on C. The right hand thumb is on F. I have to do both hands at first. Before I do that, I'm going to show you how to play the right hand by itself here. Right hand, 4th finger is on B flat. So what I'm doing is I'm isolating this one spot where the hands do play together, just a little hand separate practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the left hand starts with 2nd finger on B flat. It plays the same notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one little spot, hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and you can do that a few times if you want, but now I'm going to show you the bottom line 3 times perfectly. I'm going to put the metronome on. And like I think I've told you many times before, you don't have to use your metronome the first day of practice or the first 2 times, but once you get familiar, you can start using it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. And your eyes are glued to the music. You're counting out loud. I just moved it up to 80. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. That was pretty ugly. I'll play it again a little more musical here at 88. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. And I made it more musical by not doing the last 2 notes like that, but like this. 1, then softer. And you can do that too. You can start thinking about how you would sing a song if you were playing it. So now we did 3 perfect here. Let's do 3 perfect here. And on the 3rd perfect, I'll go to the end. Okay, I'm going to start at 80 this time. 2nd finger on B flat, we're at measure 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now I just realized I didn't get a perfect because I didn't put the right finger on that. I just was randomly going without thinking. So I'm going to pretend that was perfect though to save time. Click, click. Do another perfect one. This time I'll put my right hand thumb in the right spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Right? Now on my 3rd perfect, I'm at 96. I'm going all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and play the whole piece. I'll pop it up to 120. So here's what this piece would sound like after you've practiced it for a week. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so hopefully you can enjoy practicing that phrase by phrase, 3 perfect on each phrase, and counting out loud with your eyes glued to the music. Good luck with that. So on the last piece of your practice guide, the last thing, grand day, or a grand day, I think it's called, I have you practicing the same old way. You'll notice that nothing has really changed from the first day you practiced it. Now, I told you in the last lesson that if you don't have time to do each 2 and 4, you can just do each 4. And of course, on the video, I'm going to save time by doing that. I don't want to take a ton of time to do every single phrase in the whole piece this way, but I want to show you a couple phrases that I'm going to work from 104 up to 160. Now, of course, over a period of 7 practices, that's doable. 104 to 160 is quite a jump. But today, I kind of just want to show you what that jump in tempo will do for you. I'm going to play, I think I'm going to go ahead and just start on the second page. And this is that same second page where I kind of have the wrong pedaling. I still haven't switched it out, but you'll have the correct pedaling written in here on the bottom. I want to do the top 2 lines of the second page the same way you should be practicing the whole thing. So here it goes. I'm going to practice starting at 104. And at this point, like I said last time, you'll do the right hand and left hand separately, but you can put the music up and read it the first time to make sure you're still doing it the right way. So here I am. I'm going to read my right hand and the pedal. Hopefully you can kind of see my pedal changes. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right? Now that time I was reading it to make sure I have all the fingerings and the notes right still. Now I'm going to do it by memory, so I'm looking at my hand while I play. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, I think I have that memorized. Now the left hand, I'm going to read the music the first time. I know that it goes from here. I jump up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I think I'm ready with that. Let me do that by memory. And I think I've told you before that on these memorized pieces, you don't need to count out loud forever and ever. The counting out loud is very important for your reading exercises, but once you've got a piece memorized, you can start internalizing the beat. So I'm not going to count out loud this time. Okay, now here I go. I'm going to, in case you can't remember where I am, I'm at measure 17, which is the top of the second page. I'm now going to put the hands together without even looking at the music, because this is how you make sure you have it memorized. I'm looking at my hands now while I play. And I'm going to call that my first perfect one, and I'm going to go click, click, up to 112 and do it again. Click, click again, which takes me up to 120, and I'm going to do it again. Okay. Now, throughout the week, as you go, you don't have to be limited. If you feel like you're ready to move faster, you can do another perfect and another perfect and another one and get it up to 160, or you can just start at a faster speed each day. So, like if you started at 120 today and went click, 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 you'd end up at 144. And then the next day, if you started at 132, click, 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 voila, you're up at 160. Right now, I just want to play that first line of the second page through at 160 so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, and you're going to notice that it's really important to have it well memorized with all the jumping around you have to do in the left hand. To play it that fast, having it memorized is absolutely a must, and it's really more fun to play that way anyway. So now I'm going to drop back down to my 104, and I'm going to do one more line for you today, and then of course you could practice the whole piece this way. I'm going to play the second line of the second page, so starting at measure 21, and the first time you read it just to make sure you're still doing well on the notes and the fingerings. And the pedaling. First note. Okay, and then you would do that again and make sure you have it memorized by looking down at your hand while you play. And then you jump up. Okay, I have that memorized. Now it's the left hand's turn. If you want to read it the first time you could. Whoops. 4 beats. And then you stay with the F. can do that by memory. Notice the pedal changing. All right, so that's well memorized. I'm going to do both hands by memory now. My eyes are down here at the keys. Okay, there's one perfect, and then I go click, click, up to 112. Click, click for my third perfect. All right, and then of course you could keep that process going, clicking, clicking, clicking all the way up to get to 160 throughout the week, or even in just one sitting you could try it. But here's 160. I'm going to put those first two lines together. From here, I'll put those two lines together. And then just for fun, I think I'll play the whole piece for you to see where you're headed with it. And once you get it up to 160 and memorized, you are basically done with it. And I encourage you to perform it for a friend, or perform it for your mom, or you perform it for your wife or your husband, whoever you want to. If you want to perform it once you finished it, you don't have to perform it at all. It's just fun to be able to play a piece. But let me hear you. Let me play it for you. These two lines and then the whole song. Okay, so the two lines I just practiced. So now at 160, now here's what you can do too. If you have sort of an idea that the tempo 160 or whatever tempo you want to play it at is kind of robotic, if you're playing with your metronome, you use the metronome to set your tempo and then turn it off and play through it and allow yourself to take extra time in certain parts. You'll hear me do that when I go from one section to the next, like on this page. You'll notice that I'm going to take a little drop of time going from here to here to change the mood a little bit and then going back. So I'm going to start the metronome at 160 just so I can get my beat. And then I'm just going to approximate that without the metronome, because this is ultimately what you want to be able to do. And I slowed down a little bit at the end. I had a little goof in the middle, but anyway, you get the idea. So once you get that all memorized and can play it at whatever tempo you like, you don't have to play it as fast as I did, then I would encourage you to try to do something to sort of wrap it up. You could either record it, put it up on YouTube. I'd love to hear somebody play this up on YouTube if you want, but just sort of give it a sense of closure by some sort of either performance for yourself or for a friend or for a recording device of some sort. You just put it on recording like on GarageBand or something. But anyway, I hope you've had fun learning and memorize your first piece. And starting in lesson 5, we're going to start a new one. So good luck with that. And if you've practiced everything on your lesson 4 practice guide, then you're ready to move on. Have fun.